Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good wherever you are. Welcome to the Angry Onion, where we give news and views that just stinks on most occasions. This is week 13, 11/28/21 to kick this week off. So without further ado, we're going to move right along. This is the Angry Onion Show, and I am A.O., the Angry Onion. As we stated, we want to give you news and views that just sometimes just stink so good, but they make you question why it stinks so good. So let us talk a little bit about what we do here. So our goal here at the Angry Onion is to give you a short, different side of some of the unique stories from the world of news, weather, sports, or something just crazy. Most of it will stink, but guess what? I am an onion and I stink. If you think it stinks, you can definitely talk about it in the comments section by yourself or with others. However, remember, I am an onion and I stink. So whatever I do is bound to stink. And as an onion, I don't have logic. So if you're getting upset, all I can say is that you're getting upset with an onion. And an onion doesn't have a brain or feelings. We'll also have an onion breath stinker of the week. You can also nominate someone to be the onion breath stinker of the week. Each week we'll have a unique question or topic for you to ponder and discuss. More than likely, it will stink also. All right, let's kick off our news. Our first story is former Georgia District Attorney booked on charges of obstructing Ahmaud Arbery case. A former Georgia District Attorney has been booked on charges linked to her alleged mishandling of the case of the Ahmaud Arbery case. He was a black man who was pursued and gunned down as he jogged through Brunswick neighborhood last year. Ex-Glenn County District Attorney Jackie Johnson turned herself in to the Glenn County Sheriff's Office Wednesday morning, reports that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution stated, after a grand jury returned an indictment on counts of obstruction and violation of oath by a public officer last week. Johnson was released from the Glenn County Detention Center on a $10,000 bond. The paper reports state prosecutors allege that she used her position to delay the arrest of white men who chased and killed the 25-year-old Arbery. Johnson was the county's top prosecutor when the Arbery was fatally shot last year, and one of the armed men who preceded him worked for her as an investigator. Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, a Republican, sought the indictment after requesting an investigation of possible misconduct by local prosecutors who failed to bring charges in the killing. Father and son Greg and Travis and Michael armed themselves with guns and gave chase in a pickup truck on February 23, 2020, after they spotted Arbery running in their neighborhood just outside of the city of Brunswick. Johnson has insisted she did nothing wrong, saying she immediately recused her office from handling the case because Greg McMichael had been an employee. So this particular news story is not necessarily about the Ahmaud Arbery case itself. I think there was a guilty verdict brought this week on that case. But this is about District Attorney Jackie Johnson, and I'm not saying she did anything wrong. That's left up to the court system. But once again, it gets back to as public officials, uh, the biggest thing you have, and it hangs by a thread on most occasions, is trust. And sometimes that trust can be broken with just the appearance of something being untrustworthy. Uh, Ms. Johnson said that she immediately recused her in her office from the case, but evidently just that appearance, and I don't know how soon they did that, what was obstructed, we'll let that get into that. But here's a situation where for Miss Johnson, the appearance of your oath was being challenged, and you really should have, in my opinion, just speculating here, I don't have all the facts. You really should have came out forthright and said, "Hey, we cannot handle this case. We're going to revert it over to X County and let them handle it. This gentleman worked for us." Before even talking with anybody or even getting involved, even want to hear any of the facts of it, because of one, the sensitivity of the situation, and two, back to that trust. So we'll keep you updated on this story of ex-Glenn County District Attorney Jackie Johnson. Hey, let's get right to our Angry Onion sports story. Isaiah Stewart isn't buying LeBron James calling hit to the face an accident. Isaiah Stewart continues to believe LeBron James intentionally hit him in the face during last Sunday's Lakers-Piston game. Upon his return from a two-game suspension stemming from the incident, Stewart said he won't address the situation again, but made it clear he feels James was in the wrong. "I watched the film," Stewart told reporters on Friday. "Me personally, like I said, I didn't feel like it was an accident, but this is my last time addressing it. My main focus right now is on my teammates and getting back to playing basketball. I'm not going to let that define who I am. I'm going to let what Detroit drafted me for define who I am." James was ejected for the incident after receiving a flagrant 2 foul, then suspended for 1 game. Stewart, who had 4 points and 12 rebounds in his return against the Clippers on Friday, had to be held back from going after James following the incident, which the Lakers star says was accidental. "There was a box out on the free throw line," James told reporters. "His elbow got kind of high. It got me. If you watch the film, it got me off balance a little bit, and his elbow lifted my arm, and I basically tried to swim down on him, on his arm. And when I swung down on his arm, he got off balance, and the left side of his hand grazed my face. And I knew right away I had caught some part of his head. So I went over to apologize to him, and obviously you guys saw what happened after that. But definitely accidental." Well, I would tell you, I happened to see it kind of in real time of the game. I do believe there's an intentional and accidental part to this. LeBron James is not a dirty player. Uh, I don't think Isaiah Stewart is some mean maniac player. I just think it was a heat of the moment thing. I do believe LeBron James intentionally tried to, as he mentioned, swim down, break him from uh, the kind of tangle up they had at the free throw line. I don't think he was intentionally uh, trying to hit him in the face. That piece was an accident. So this story has lingered on for a week, but why is it coming back up? Because the two teams square off tonight, this time in Los Angeles. So it'll be another national audience watching this game to see what's going to be happening. I'm pretty sure in the pregame and postgame, there'll be discussion on each other's thoughts on the matter from both teams. The Lakers coming off of a devastating loss to Sacramento on Friday night, and below 500, and a lot of questions being asked about that team. We'll probably try to come out to prove something. Detroit is just trying to get back into the swing of being Detroit basketball. So it should be a good game. Let me know your thoughts on this story. But at the end of the day, Isaiah Stewart isn't buying LeBron James calling hit to the face an accident. Okay, time for our AO weather. Today's weather forecast comes from Sagatuck, Michigan. Sagatuck is a city in Allegheny County in the United States, in the state of Michigan. The population was 925 at the 2010 census. The city is within the Saugatuck Township, but is administratively autonomous. Originally a lumber town and port, Saugatuck, along with the adjacent city of Douglas, became a noted art colony and tourist destination in the arts and crafts movement of the late 19th century. In the early 20th century, Saugatuck was home to the famous Big Pavilion, a large dance hall that attracted bands and visitors across the Midwest. The building was a popular destination on Lake Michigan from its construction in 1909 till it burned down on May 6, 1960. The weather this week will see temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s during the day and the lower 30s at night. We give a warm welcome, and I know it's kind of a cold welcome there in Saugatuck, Michigan, to the great residents of Saugatuck for delivering this week's AO weather. Okay, this week's onion breath stinker goes to Lauren Boebert, U.S. Representative of Colorado's 3rd District. This is not a political commentary because I do not do political commentary, but let's talk about what we have here. So, Ms. Boebert made a remark in her home district. And sometimes you're trying to play to the crowd and you do various things, but she got a bunch of laughs and hoots when she joked about encountering Representative Omar, who was one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress. Uh, in an elevator on Capitol Hill, she said these things. I see a Capitol police officer running to the elevator, she said. I see Fred all over his face, and he's reaching and the door's shutting. Like I can't open it. Like what's happening? I look to my left, and there she is, Ilhan Omar. And I said, well, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine. We only had one floor to go. I said, oh, look, the jihad squad decided to show up for work today. Okay. Miss Boebert is in her early 30s, mid 30s. Uh, Sometimes maturity comes as you continue to grow. Don't think she's a bad person. I don't know her personally. She has her political views, which may differ from quite a few in the country, and which may also align with quite a few in the country. But as a public official, you just have to be careful on the things you say. You just can't just go brain dead all of a sudden and say things to whoop up the crowd. Because to me, that ties back to your character. And if your character says, I will say and do anything to stay in power, then that's not a good thing. And I hope that's not your style, Ms. Boebert. Your district represented, actually elected you to represent them uh, in a honest and decent way. Uh, Sometimes that representation may go against uh, things your district may want for the simple fact you are also looking at things for the betterment of the country. But calling your colleagues or casting dispersions on your colleagues as jihadists or other things of that nature, that's not a good thing. So you really want to step away from making statements and gestures like that. That can lead to some people that may not be on the up and up to do some strange things, may look to harm someone. So you got to step that up, Representative. But for that, you are this week's Onion Breath Stinker of the Week. All right. So if you believe you have an onion breath stinker and you'd like to nominate someone, please do that. Just shoot us an email at rodtv65@gmail.com. Let us know why you're nominating that person, and we'll try to get them there. You don't have to send us a picture. You just let us know that they stink, you know. And guess what? Others may say they stink. Others may say, well, this whole process stinks. But guess what? I'm an onion, and I'm supposed to stink. All right? Okay. Let's move on. Okay, let's get right into our stinker question of the week. Is it okay to give homeless people who are standing on the streets corner asking for food or money? Once again, is it okay to give to the homeless people who are standing on the street corners asking for food or money? You know, uh, dealing with the homeless myself quite a bit. It's a mixed bag there. There's definitely some honest people who are homeless. They're doing and needing whatever they can get, and then there are some dishonest ones. A couple of years ago, I actually stood out on the street corner, busy intersection, right at the holidays with my son. I believe it was about 28 degrees. It was an interesting inquiry. I just wanted to see what it would be like. Uh, a number of people that kind of knew me looked kind of puzzled. Why is he standing here asking for money or food? Others that, quite a few of them did stop and were about to give me money, and I gave them kind of a document that listed a number of different shelters and things on it that if they could be so kind to donate that money to those shelters. But for each individual, you have to take a look at it. There's a number of city ordinances that have been passed throughout the country that makes it illegal for you to hand things out of your vehicle to others. Uh, you know, you have to understand uh, the logic behind that. But at the same time, you do have to say there are people in need, and this is the only route they know to try to get help. So, stinker question of the week. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, or just have some good conversations among yourselves about it. Well, once again, thank you for listening to and tuning in to the show, The Angry Onion. It stinks and it will continue to stink. But remember, I'm an onion. Ayo, I'm the angry onion, and everything that I do stinks. Thank you to The Angry Onion, which is a production of Rod TV 65, where reality meets the public. Rod TV 65 is a production of BBB2M Media.